Woko is a woman of many parts. She is a visionary leader with a successful track record in the public sector. She is passionate about the youths honing their skills and personalities into leadership. She is the visionary and founder of Advancing Youth Voice Initiative, a non-profit organization dedicated to inspiring and empowering young people. She has effectively channeled the youth's energy towards community service and nation building through digital engagement and leadership training. To further enhance her work with the initiative by leveraging on technology to create impact, she recently put together a maiden workshop. On Tuesday, January 23, 2024, at the Eco Hotel in Lagos, Nigeria, tagged, "What does it take to lead in the 21st century?" This event saw experts engaging in different topics with the audience, as the workshop kicked off with an opening address by the convener of the workshop and founder of the initiative, Caroline Woko.
We are gathered here today for this event titled, "What does it take to lead in the 21st century? Building a new generation of young leaders in a digital world."
The workshop was engaging and extremely interactive, ranging from issues on the role of artificial intelligence in modern leadership, nurturing mental health against the effects of stress and burnt out on young leaders, business enterprise in the digital age, how technology is revolutionizing nonprofit and volunteerism, soft skills development in modern young leaders, and a panel session on modern leadership in a digital world, featuring U.S. partners of the convener, namely Dr. Fidelis de Cunha, Provost WCC CD Michigan, and Faraz Alami, CEO of ISM.
Comes out of marine economy. Because the greater blue economy,
who said a healthy workplace is the foundation of a thriving organization.
It was indeed a thought-provoking workshop for everyone present. It was informative and educative, giving insight on how to leverage on technology to be a leader in the society, in the business world, in the career world, and every sphere of life, and understanding that the ability to build and keep a team is important to great leadership.
Thank you for having me here. My name is Caroline Woko. I'm the founder of Advancing Youth Voice Initiative. Well, the world is constantly evolving. There's a lot of technology, especially in the West. Everything has become automated. That it's even so alarming that we might not need people anymore. You have artificial intelligence, you have apps.
Advancing Youth Voice Initiative is becoming a force to be reckoned with globally as a training and advocacy platform for the youths who are our leaders of today. The initiative is poised to raising young leaders in Nigeria who can stand tall amidst their global contemporaries wherever they find themselves. This was well articulated in the visionary's closing remarks. Caroline Woko is also an author. She has poured out herself in her groundbreaking ebook titled How to Lead in the Public Sector, a Beginner's Guide for First-Time Managers. This book encapsulates her approach to leadership and her ability to capture innovation, making it a must-read for anyone aspiring leadership responsibilities and growth in the public sector. The initiative is open to young volunteers who are willing to hone their skills in leadership and also impact on others. For inquiries, you can contact this number and reach us on our social media handles.
Behind Advancing Youth Voice Initiative workshop. It's a woman that is very passionate in leadership, a woman that is very passionate with the youth. And she started this, a long time ago in Nigeria, out of Nigeria, and she thought to herself, it's time for me to go big on this with my skills. I shouldn't waste my skills. I should impact the youth with my skills. And so I'm just going to give you a little intro on this person. Women are doing great things, and women are very passionate, especially with the youth. and because we are mothers. The founder and convener of today's event, Advancing Youth Voice Initiative Workshop, is Mrs. Caroline Walker. She's a seasoned professional with a track record of successful public sector management and growth-driven leadership. She's a dynamic individual who embodies modern leadership. Caroline has demonstrated an uncanny ability to organize and manage teams for effective trainings, which she has done across the globe. She's a doyen in the public sector. Caroline is very passionate, especially with the youth. She believes that the youth have a future, and this future must be her nest. She believes that this generation should not be wasted. And that's why she doesn't agree when the past president said the youths are lazy. It's packed up something in her that indeed we do not have lazy youth. We have youth that are innovative, if given the platform to perform. And so she desires pouring her leadership skills in honing the abilities of the youth in Nigeria. The Nigerian youth need to take their place in the globe. They need to take their place in the global market. Because indeed they're doing excellently well outside Nigeria. So what stops them from doing the same here in this country? And so that's why this workshop is organized. So let's put our hands together as I welcome the convener and founder of Advancing Youth Voice Initiative Workshop in the person of Mrs. Caroline Walker. Let's appreciate her as she comes to us, please.
Thank you so much, Ramatu. That was a very elegant introduction. Before I start recognizing our guest, I want to say that we have 3 choices in life. You have the choice to watch things happen. You have the choice to make things happen. And then you have the choice to wonder, how did it happen? So today, it's left for you to make those choices. With no further ado, good morning, everyone, invited guests, the speakers who have contributed so much of their time and energy to come here, my friend here, Elena, who took about 22 hours flight and came into Nigeria yesterday, and she still made it, So we thank you, Elena, for being here. That shows commitment. And to all of you here, you're a champion. I'm so happy that you're here today. So I am deeply honored to stand before you today as a founder of Advancing Youth Voice Initiative, a nonprofit committed to fostering the growth and development of young leaders in the constantly evolving. The world has moved from hierarchical system of leadership to digitalization, to apps, to virtual meetings, and now to artificial intelligence, which is really alarming. Because what happens to human resources if we have artificial intelligence automated factors? Now, we are gathered here today for this event titled, What Does It Take to Lead in the 21st Century? Building a new generation of young leaders in a digital world. The world is changing at an unprecedented pace, and with the change comes the need for new leadership. Adaptable, innovative, and digitally savvy. leadership that listens, learns, and leads with empathy rather than directives, rather than autocracy, rather than instructions. A more collaborative kind of leadership, where the leader has a vision and he uses inspiration and motivation to get things done. So AYA was born out of a vision to empower such leadership. Our mission is to equip young minds with the tools to navigate our modern world's complexities and drive positive change in their communities. Every young person has the potential to be a leader, and we aim to unlock that potential. As a baton to a new generation of young people that have access to information, have access to the internet, so want to pass that baton to them. Now, and the only way that we can pass that baton is to empower them, to teach them about personal development, and also to empower them with the skills to make them a winner. So, in the words of John Quincy Adams, if your actions inspire others to dream, learn, do, and become more, you are a leader. This quote encapsulates what we are trying to achieve at Advancing Youth Voice Initiative. Our objective is the future is to build a global network of young leaders who inspire, motivate, and empower others. A global network, that is the whole idea of being here. When I went to United Nations General Assembly in September, I saw remarkable young people who were children of immigrants in New York. And they have been contributing to their communities, starting from the age of 11. And now they were 21, 22, 23. And now they want to be leaders. They came out in a global network, young kids, incredible, technologically savvy, to form what we want to do as collaboration today, to create an awareness and to get to know those young people with full potential who we can expose to the international community. Today we live in a digital age where information is our thing. It's a huge mistake because that information is in fingertips. Digital tools have the power to democratize knowledge and opportunities. They can break down barriers, foster collaboration, and accelerate innovation. And yet, they are just tools. It's how we use them that will define our success. Your telephone, you see young people, every time you're on the phone, touching it, moving and sending WhatsApp messages. Those are powerful tools that you can use to assess the world and become. I start with you. And that story is a young man. Before I go into his story, I want to share my own personal story too. It's not just about reading prose. There's a time to be born, and there's a time to die. Bracket open, we're born into time. One day, bracket will come to a close. And we can ask ourselves, in that hyphen, what did we do with time? Time is a huge resource. I never knew that. I learned that, I read it, it's prose, but I've never experienced that. Until I got trapped in the United States in 2020 during COVID, and my hips locked. My two femoral bones locked. I could no longer walk. There was an overflow of COVID, and I can't have my surgery. I had to sit in a wheelchair. over 6 months, put in a wheelchair. And I used to think, oh, initially, why can't I wear my high heel shoes anymore? I have inner pains. But now I'm in a wheelchair. It changed everything. It changed my outlook to life. And I said, dear God, after these multiple surgeries, it will never be the same. I will spend the rest of my life making people feel happy, bringing joy, bringing comfort, giving back what I have inside me. That was the beginning of this journey. And while in therapy, after 2 successive major surgeries to get my limbs back, between 2021 and 2022, I was propped up in the pillow. And my young son, who was just 19, said to me, well, let's start something online. This is virtual meeting. And so we went to Zoom, and I started training. And I called the training Lead with Success, propped up in pillow, camera in front, but they didn't know that I had pains. They didn't know I was taking multiple painkillers, cocktails of painkillers from surgery, opiums, and I started. And by the time I started that journey, in my community, 10 people joined online, 20 people, 30 people, and new expansion has started. So the intention of advancing your voice was not born out of just having another profit. It was an intention to impact. It was an intention to empower. So I got this young man who was usually very timid, couldn't do public speaking, was very fearful. And we had a program. And people were sitting in the corridor when I got my limbs back. And they said, oh, I should talk. But I didn't talk. I pulled the young man who was timid. I said to him, come and talk, and I stood behind him as a buffer. He's young, he's 19, he can connect to that generation more than I can connect to it. And he started speaking. And today, that young man, who is 21, is a speaker. Not just is he a speaker, apart from going to school in America, he has skills. He built all the websites. He did this graphic design to give back to what we're doing. He's going to school. He's as well doing skills, graphic skills, web skills, app skills. He's making money, $3,500, $10,000, and he goes to school. So this is what we are doing. Empowering you, not just with education, because school teaches you IQ. We teach you, when you come out of school, how do you relate with people? It's called emotional intelligence. So this is the story of what Advancing Youth Voice have achieved in a guy who used to be so timid, but now he's willing to be the light so that he can grant each one of you the permission to be the light. The theme of this event, we will hear from top leaders, industries, experts, and young leaders who are shaping the future. They will share their insights, experience, and strategies for effective leadership in the digital world. I encourage you, each one of you, that spend your time coming here to acquire knowledge. That each one of you to engage, ask questions, and share your own experiences. In closing, I extend my heartfelt thanks to each of you. With the traffic in Telegram language, some of you came pretty early. So I extend that gratitude for being here today. Your support and commitment to our mission are what made AYVI possible. Let's use this opportunity to learn from each other, inspire each other, and work together to build a new generation of leaders for the next day.
again, let's put our hands together for Caroline Walker. That was in-depth. Advancing Youth Voice Initiative is doing a lot, and they have come to stay. Coding, you know, because the world is tending to these lines. And if you ask someone on the street, have you heard of artificial intelligence? They say, robot wife, robot girlfriend. You've heard of it, right? It's all over the social media. That's what some people know. But how can we use artificial intelligence to aid our work, to aid our lives? Some are afraid that this era of artificial intelligence, some people might lose their jobs. So if that happens, how do you become effective in what you're doing? Well, we have questions, lots of questions. We'll save your questions as I call upon the very one and only artificial intelligence enthusiast in our midst, the person of Mr. Sonny Roche. He is the chairman of SAPC, the Strategic Alliance Promotion Company, and he will be talking on the role of artificial intelligence in modern leadership. Please let's put our hands together for him as he comes. Thank you.
Caroline Walker, for bringing the youth together to understand, to try to understand what it takes to be a leader in the 21st century. Before I delve into the realm of artificial intelligence, I would like to say that to be a leader is to be a servant. If those of you who read your Bibles, when James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came to Jesus, asking, we want to sit one on your right hand and the other one on your left hand in your glory. And Jesus said, you do not know what you ask of. Can you drink of the cup that I drink of and be baptized with the baptism that I baptize with? They said, yes, we can. And Jesus further said, so shall it not be amongst you, that whoever is the greatest amongst you shall be your servant. So as you aspire to lead in the 21st century, you must first subdue yourself and be a servant of the people. Is that what we see in our country and most African countries today? I leave that to your context, John. So, good morning, everybody. I've been asked to speak for 20 minutes, then you ask your question for 10 minutes. What is artificial intelligence? People do ask. Artificial intelligence is the capability of using machines to do what humans hitherto should do and try to do it better. But the servant cannot be better than the master, because we, as computer scientists, as engineers, develop algorithms and feed them into machines to be able to interpret large data to churn out desired results. But another subfield of artificial intelligence uses the human brain structure type, which means artificial intelligence will begin to think beyond the ambits of what is fed. There are three subfields of artificial intelligence. One is machine learning. Second is deep learning. And the third one is what you call there's deep, there's machine, and the third one is neural networks. So artificial intelligence is in two parts. One are those who use algorithms, mathematical models, to develop all these three facets of AI. But what most leaders and most companies do is the application of artificial intelligence. Not all of us are well gifted in mathematics. Not all of us are gifted in the science of robotics. But artificial intelligence comes in every industry today. One, the field of medicine. AI has been used by professors of artificial intelligence in most advanced institutions. I know about Oxford because I've been a senior academic fellow at Oxford University and took a lot of courses, attended so many seminars in AI in Oxford, and I became too interested and fanatical about AI that I applied to study artificial intelligence at the Said Business School, artificial intelligence for business. We are all businessmen. When we set up a hospital, we set up an airline, we set up a co-hotel. It's all about business. So I'm sure they will get my presentation to you. AI can be categorized into two types. Narrow AI, which is designed to perform a specific task, and general AI, which has the ability to understand, learn, and apply knowledge across multiple domains. AI is used in various fields, including healthcare, finance, transportation, and entertainment, and the potential to revolutionize many aspects of our daily lives. The comrade talked about robotic girlfriends. I will not delve into the realm of that because outside or in civilized climes, you don't want to get involved in such things. But let us focus on what we'll be proud to discuss when our children are there, the young people. So you must focus your mind on productivity, not on sexual privileges. So I will not delve into that one. You know what bots are? Does anyone know? Is anyone who doesn't know what bot is? Do you know what bot is? What is it? B-O-T. Bot, B-O-T.
It's an automated machine that can actually carry out activity.
Can you give an example of a bot?
Okay, we are a crypto trader, so we use it in Telegram. So if I want to buy a coin online, just type in the web address, then it should just automatically buy it for me.
Okay, where is bot derived from?
From AI.
Bot is derived from robot. Remove the RO. Bot. You know Alexia, right? That talks to you. Okay, so robot is short from. So you have all kinds, so many types of bots. About 5 of them. You have ChatGPT. You all know what ChatGPT pre-trained transformers. So it is directly a consequence of machine learning. Machine learning, as I was saying, is when algorithms are fed into computers and they start to replicate the knowledge of the people that fed them, the algorithms and what they want them to do. Then the deep learning has what you call neural networks. Does anyone know what neural is? Neural, if you did biology, it's not my first degree in zoology, but I can't remember the difference between amoeba and spirogyra, elementary biology, zoology. But neural are part of the kind of neuron cells you have in the brain. If you look at the brain structure, it is convoluted and has neural and neurons that carry messages from whatever we do to the brain, and the brain interprets it. So the deep learning of AI replicates the human brain. So that is where we are afraid whether this human beings would, this AI will get a mind of their own. There are so many movies that you must have watched in the past that talks about robots taking over the world. I was in an AI class at Oxford where a Professor Mimi Zhou, a specialist of AI from China, a Chinese lady, came to speak. And during question and answer time, like you young ones are going to ask, she said there was a false, what you call deep fake, a false train accident somewhere in China. It was deep fake. So people whose family and friends were on that kind of train number, blah, 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 heading from here, A to B, started panicking, some of them started traveling, only to find out that it was deep fake. So I asked Professor Mimi, I said, what if there is a deep fake of artificial intelligence giving wrong messages to air traffic control, that the plane is supposed to take off at a certain altitude, and you know, when you fly, flights have flight paths. You know, it's just like driving on the road, you keep to your lane, this is different altitudes, and they give wrong altitude. And she's like, wait a minute, Sonny, that could be devastating. That brings me to the topic of AI regulation. The Chinese and the Americans are struggling for who will be a superpower AI nation. Right now, they are neck and neck, but America is a bit ahead of China. After America, China, the next one is UK, then the state of Israel. And I thought to myself, studying AI, the US president has a box. I think it's a red or a black box, I can't remember the color. But it has a box where he and the chief of defense staff can decide to detonate and take out the whole world, the whole of Russia, and take out the whole planet Earth. And I just said to myself, what if a robot, AI in the office of the president, gets more intelligent than both the president of the US and the chief of joint staff of the US, and gets hold of that box and detonates it? So the US also has an AI regulatory authority. And I've written an article for the need for AI regulation in Nigeria. No doubt AI has wonderful outcomes for humanity. AI can predict the possibility of anybody developing a heart attack 5 to 10 years before it happens. And if they have that, they can start treatment to make sure that they obliterate any such event of a heart attack. AI can also, within 5 to 10 years, determine if someone is going to have cancer, and now start treatment to make sure that they obliterate the possibility or likelihood of cancer to occur to anyone. AI, like I said earlier, can also speed up the discovery of drugs against cancer, drugs against Alzheimer's, drugs against all sorts of things that the scientific world has been battling with. So it has its own good part. I've mentioned part of the bad part. The worst one is what is happening in places like Hollywood, where actors are replicating their bodies, and the juxtaposition of the faces of politicians and people you consider your enemy on pornography. They put your head on pornography that you're having porn somewhere, and that will create, nobody will want that kind of thing. You know, so it has its own bad part, it has its own good part. And for those of you who might be interested in studying AI, it's important to me to be able to guide you. Do not think that AI is mathematics. Do not think that AI is statistics. Do not think that AI is computer science. You have the back office people who prepare the algorithms and do the mathematics. That's not your role. Your role is like, you say, okay, I want to fly. I want to fly British Airways, Ghana Airways. I have to learn to be a pilot. No, it's for you to use aviation techniques to be a passenger. So you all, about 99% of people who are studying AI are studying the applicability of artificial intelligence into hotel management, into military. And I've written a paper last week that Boko Haram and terrorism can be defeated in Nigeria and the subcontinent by applying artificial intelligence through drones. I was also in the power sector, and if you see the power lines, transmission power lines, they are vandalized. People steal them to do all kinds of things. That's part of the reasons you have system collapse all over the country when there's blackout all over Nigeria. I advocated when I was executive director in the transmission company of Nigeria that why can't we use drones to monitor our lines, and drones that are empowered to monitor the strength and interference on the transmission lines. Secondly, the US, United States of America, just created a university for the Army Forces access to artificial intelligence manned aircraft and drones that take out Russian missiles, and Russia has the same thing.
Recording in progress.
So if we apply AI to our national security, we'll go a long way in ensuring that we defeat Boko Haram. I prepared a slide, I'm sure the organizers will make it available to you. But being a lecturer and a one-time politician, I try to speak extempore without referring to the presentation was done by me, and you go through it. Carolyn, I'm sure we're going to make it available to future leaders. And I charge you, when you become leaders, not if, because I believe if you apply yourself to the principles of great leadership. When your founder spoke about Quincy John Adams, Quincy John Adams was the 6th American president. His father, John Adams, was the 2nd American president after George Washington. What made, Quincy John Adams was the first son of a president who became president. Of course, George Bush much later became, I think they've had about 4 sons who became president. It's because they mimicked their fathers who were great men. So who are your role models as future leaders? Is it the Nigerian politician who is not thinking about any other thing except squandermania and kleptomania? Are those your role models really? Because whether you like it or not, if you believe in God, one thing, if you believe in the law of retributive justice, you still reap what you sow. We can continue, we can give you my contact, we can continue on AI. But since the subject is about leadership in the 21st century, Nigeria, your country, cannot continue like this. We cannot continue in this trajectory. We want leaders. The country is seeking for leaders. Nigeria is like Jonah in the belly of the whale, saying, I want to be free. 419 will not pay you. Cheating will not pay you. If you think it pays you temporarily, you're going to have children. They are what we call generational curses. People are dying, people are suffering, people are going through hell in Nigeria, caused by our office occupiers. I don't call them leaders. And if they don't pay for it, the iniquity of the father shall be visited upon their generations. So, for your today and your tomorrow, you have to embrace artificial intelligence. They tell me, my co-speaker said to me, that artificial intelligence could make people lose their jobs. And when we talked for about the minutes before I came up to you, I'm a very chatty person. I said, what do you do? This is mental health. I said, artificial intelligence will not take over mental health. You are mad, you are mad. I'm getting there. So intelligence cannot. But artificial intelligence will create opportunity by unleashing the potential in so many industries that will create jobs. But in case that efficiency doesn't create more jobs, why don't you learn it? It's simple. My first degree is in zoology, and I did economics and an MBA. I'm not a mathematician, but I am doing artificial intelligence applicability in business. How can you look at banking, for me as an investment banker, to do your cash flow analysis for you, instead of cracking numbers with calculators? Before calculators came, we were doing mental mathematics. Your generation didn't do mental. You know what they call mental? Your teacher will come and say 2 times 2 is 1. The bright ones will say 4. They say, no, you don't do it. You know? So, but calculators came and made life easier. Artificial intelligence has come to help you on your cash flow analysis, to help you on your working capital, to help you on your projection. Artificial intelligence will also help you to predict which loans are likely to go bad. If you see a man who is over-leveraged, he's spending more than he earns, but he might try and deceive the account officer that, oh, my father left money somewhere. But AI will tell you who you are. ChatGPT, you have different companies. ChatGPT is OpenAI, Google has Bard, and all kinds of systems that you can use to help you write some of your essays. And it now brings an ethical question in universities. Is ChatGPT plagiarism? Because that is large data. ChatGPT that is currently on now, OpenAI, is ChatGPT 3.5. By the end of the year, it still has some errors. A friend of mine told me, okay, he put his college into ChatGPT, an all-boys college, Methodist College, Usuakoli. And it turned out, all-boys college, it turned out, ChatGPT said, Methodist College, Usuakoli, an all-girls school in Sokoto. Usuakoli is in my backyard there in Umaya. Okay? So I said to him, I teach him because Usuakoli is always competing with my alma mater, Government College of Umaya, the best college in Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned. So I put Government College of Umaya into ChatGPT. It gave everything. Founded in 1929 by Reverend Robert Fisher, all-boys school, one of the best schools in Africa. And I told him, I said, when I told you to come to Government College, you are not brilliant enough. You went to a college that ChatGPT can't even crack. So, if you rely 100% on ChatGPT, it might mislead you. So OpenAI is working on an advanced version of ChatGPT 3.5 to have ChatGPT 4, which will be an improved version. And in the ethics of AI in Oxford University, say, okay, students, don't say they plagiarize, but you can always know what is generated by any of the bots. You can always know. So you set the standard higher. If I know that when I tell you to talk about Eco Hotel, say Eco Hotel is located in Victoria Land in Lagos, ChatGPT will give it to you. It might not know the owner. 3.5 might tell you that it's owned by Lagos State, whereas the Shaguri and Co have taken over Eco Hotel. So we can always catch people. And I know the way the world is going. Maybe by the time I get back to serious development of AI, we'll come up to get a kind of model, a kind of system that will get you if you plagiarize from ChatGPT. But again, ChatGPT is what you feed into there to give to you. You can't just sit down and wish ChatGPT will give you an answer. So I think I have spent my 20 minutes, if I'm not over 20, but I assure you that your organization will send my presentation to you. What I have verbalized are mostly here, but I'm more comfortable like a preacher. So time for question and answer. But please try and be brief and don't repeat a question that someone else has asked.
You just talked about plagiarism, and I'm wondering if ChatGPT is a bot that anybody can have access to. And it generally depends on information on the web to generate all its answers, like to write an essay. How do you talk about plagiarism? Because it is ChatGPT that is writing it. It's not you. So if I ask it a question and someone else asks a question about the same thing, it's generally going to generate the same answer. Yeah.
Information as yours, as your own. Is that okay? That's where it borders on plagiarism. But you might not ask the same question, but if my friend who asked about his college, all the people that went to the college asked the same thing, and they go and produce it in an exam in UK, then he's able to get them. Another question, equity and diversity. So women must participate.
My name is Angela. So you mentioned AI in leadership. So I have two questions. So my first question is, what role will, or how can AI help good governance in Nigeria? That's one. And then my second question is, can AI be creative?
AI aid good leadership. AI can apply robots to the airport. So when you are coming, you don't need to see any custom officer who will ask you to open your bag and what you bring up for me. Okay? And then if AI is put in accounting system, no minister will be able to put money in a private account, because AI says strictly in the system, if you want to move money from the account of ABC Ministry of Parastata, it must go to the account of a contractor, and you must have large language for who the contractors are and what they have done. So it will not go to anybody's account except the account of the authorized person. The second question was,
can AI be creative?
Yes, it can be creative. It can. That's the neural one, the deep learning. The deep learning is to replicate the human mind, and they are beginning to do what they can do. But AI also have what we call a frame problem. Write it down. Frame problem of AI is very important. A tortoise, if you put it on the back, cannot turn back. I didn't know that. So you see AI robots trying to expect the tortoise to turn over. So they are saying, and if you and I can always think outside of the box. If this Onoyo watcher, that this room doesn't get into the market, right? Okay. Onomiwa, there's another way we can take. But AI might not immediately think about it. It's like a zombie. This is the way we want to go. So, like I said, AI is a nascent technology. We are all still learning. We don't know where it's going to lead up to, but we know that it's good. Okay, tell me what.
So when I said it's how can AI assist in good governance in Nigeria? So because I'm still looking at how it will make a strategic decision, because everything that happens in Nigeria is starts on decision making from one person to another. So how can AI assist that, so that we can have someone that will say, okay, let's do this thing, because AI has predicted that okay, in this can happen in Lagos or in Nigeria. So that's my question.
Okay. Only 2 days ago, the British government came out with a full, comprehensive guideline of how their government would operate under AI. It's something we should sit down. Like, there are policies, there are books on how to run government in every department of Nigeria. You see what the British have in Britain? They gave it to us when we became independent. They ran Nigeria the way they ran. I grew up in Yaba. We had public taps, we had postmen, we had post boxes. And that also applies to policies. Those policies are there. The policy that you cannot put government money in your account and you cannot put your own money in government account has been in existence. What do you need? You need what you call the audit department. But in government, the audit department and the ministers are all in cahoots to divert money and to cheat and to be corrupt and to violate the existing rules and regulations of the ministry. So what AI will do is to be an enforcer. You put in your system, you want to collect bribe, because it could see you, and you limit the interaction of people with human beings. Let them go somewhere else. Let them go and join the police. There's a police academy, world and civilized world. You must spend 3 years in super environment to become a police officer. Well, here you don't train them, just do them. So to answer your question, the long and short is, the system is in place. It is the practitioners of the system that are at fault. Here I can monitor your account. We have names, we have a BVN. Where do they put this money? Where do they put money they pay to kidnappers? 600 million, 200 million. Why can't your BVN flag it? Why can't the telecoms also flag the conversation? Because of human interaction. If you use AI, AI will flag it. AI will know where they are going to, where they are coming from. It can be done. Okay?
Thank you very much. My question goes with the leadership side of the topic. What does it take to lead in the 21st century? And with the advanced technology we have right now, like for me, I want to go into politics in the future and being mentored by a young political person. I've been trying to bring in some advanced technology, things that can help to do some monitoring, especially we talk about the drone. But how can we effectively carry out what we, our visions? Because the country we are in now, how can our 21st century young leaders bring in their ideas and it work in this country, Nigeria, that we have now? Because a lot of us young persons, we have sat down together. I've seen that some of our ideas are being thrown to the side. So how do we carry out, and where, how do we, what do we do? How do we start, you know, to start enforcing that our decisions are being accepted in the countries?
Do you know your ward in Edo State? What's the name of your ward?
Well, I really don't go home. I was born in the Korea, so I know my ward in the Korea.
Are you listening to someone who wants to be a leader?
Yeah.
You don't go home.
Okay, so for me, I was born in Ikorodu, so I know my ward. I actually tried to run for councillor in Ward C4. Yes, sir. So I don't really go home actually. So
I don't blame you really. The constitution says if you live in a place for 6 months, you are from that place.
I'm more than 30 years old.
Exactly. That is good. But you lack the critical number. You ask the question, you are not listening now. Leader, you are not listening now. I sympathize with you. I was an investment banker. I left banking to go into politics. In 1993, I was supporting MK Abiola from the bank. I continued. They couldn't sack me because they thought I was good. But I said, politics is in my blood. I love it. I love this country. I ran for the governorship of Abia State in 1998. I ran for national chairman of PDP then. But I've since left politics. I've left politics. Because, see, develop yourself properly first. Develop yourself properly. Because these are dark days in politics in Nigeria. Do something useful with your life. Build yourself. I was heavily into politics. I said, look, this is ain't living anywhere. They don't talk my language. They don't smell like me. I'm not in the gutter. You have to go into the gutter and fight. It's okay, but just try. One feel oh, need it.
It's going to influence in Nigeria as we're moving into the digital age. Let's not forget we have hackers around. If we put all these things in place, do we have the knowledge to guard them in case of security? Because a lot of people are afraid that their information are going out. Okay, I have you said something about the airport or a bank, or diverting money, you go to the right place, but there are someone will be behind because of his expertise. Enter into the AI, do some configuration. Instead of the AI to accept what it's supposed to do, it will turn it around, diverting funds elsewhere. I'm just curious to know, is there any thing that should be done to curb that? Because before you apply something, you have to know.
Okay, Brian, I know you are a burgeoning AI expert, but it can just stop it and not necessarily divert it elsewhere. It might stop it. A red flag is raised. We have that in the system in government where it should raise red flag. But since you know it is inputted by human beings, the two superpowers in the AI, China and America, still have fraud. They still have people diverting. It's something you live with. Hackers and thieves have always been with us. I mean, they've always had thieves. The grain train robber that robbed the train in UK was decades ago. Unless I didn't get your question.
Yeah, that is it.
That's it.
They often come for us as we are developing. They are also moving fast ahead.
Yeah, but if we can, in information management and in general work ethics, you try to reduce fraud and theft to the barest minimum. No system is foolproof. None. No system is foolproof.
Employed to check the AI.
AI is not employed to check us, because it's we human beings that feed it with algorithms. So we direct it, and what can I say? We have regulatory bodies. China has regulatory bodies that certain things you cannot do with AI. You cannot raise the dead. Can you? So they are like, you say, who checks the banks? There's NDIC, there's central bank and regulators. Also, you have regulators. So I'm going to send all my articles to your founder, to your leader, that you can share with all of you. I've written about checking corruption. I've written about marine ecology, where AI can tell you all the living organisms in the seabird and the ones you can use for medicinal purposes and every other thing that comes out of marine economy. Because the greater blue economy, people ask me, what is blue economy? I say, we don't do it. Blue economy is things that come from water and things like that. Red economy is criminal activity. Green economy is agriculture and stuff like that. So that's it. Leaders, you must read. You must read voraciously. So we are done with, okay.
Thank you very much, sir. So when I heard your name, the first thing that came to my mind was to go on LinkedIn to read about you there.
So there's no hiding place for anybody.
So I want to ask, I saw on LinkedIn that you read about AI in 2023 or 2022. Okay, so my question is, what inspired you to pursue a career in AI, and where do you see it taking you to?
Okay, I'm an old man. I'm not particularly young, And one thing I've learned in life is to keep on studying. During COVID-19, we were shut down. I said, how can I can't move, I can't do anything, So I went into an app called Duolingo. Avec Duolingo, j'ai étudié français tous les jours. Tu veux pas français, très bien. Maintenant, I learned French during the lockdown. And I had a life experience like your founder. I had a heart attack in 2019. God saved me. I was in a country where they had everything. And they said I'll live long. And I'm feeling good. And they said the older you get, the brain starts getting weak. But you must energize your brain by learning new things. I got admitted to Oxford University as a senior academic fellow at the African Studies. And if you are in such a university, every day new things come up, seminars, conferences, new things come up. In May, there's going to be an AI summit. You know, people come there, you hear people, you see people talk about AI, talk about everything under the earth. You cannot believe it. They are talking about where the world will go to. They are talking about astrophysics, they are talking about universe, the planet, all kinds of topics. They are talking about food. They are talking about organisms as small as amoeba. Why is it unicellular? Why is a spiral organism? What is in there for man? Unfortunately, we in Africa are still sleeping, and I feel that I must engender the young Nigerians to take an interest in the AI. In our admission, yesterday we had a meeting before we start our full AI course in March. Only 2% of the participants came from all of Africa. And I think I'm one, and the other two people are Africans from South Africa. When it's Africans, they're white people. So it's we must learn this information age, we must learn this IT age. So that's what motivated me, to make sure that my brain keeps working, that I can stand in front of you and speak audaciously with all confidence and look at any person, no matter who you think you are in Nigeria. You are just another small politician. So. Okay, that should be the last one.
I'm actually disturbed about this growth of AI and how it will affect job losses. For example, like I went to school and then I studied for 4 years and come out as an economics with a degree. And at the end of the day, an AI comes and takes over my job. And like you said, AI is not mathematics. AI is not science. So are you saying that after obtaining this degree and this knowledge, and an AI can come to replace me, so I'll be actually going through another route just to be able to get a job again? That was my question.
Why are you waiting to be replaced? How long ago did you graduate?
I'm not graduated yet. I'm just asking because I'm disturbed about it. You know, the growth of AI.
What's disturbing you? Are you lazy? I told you my story. I graduated in 1978. I did for year 2020. I have gone back to school in 2022. What's your problem? You want me to tell you my age?
No, sir.
So please, what I'm saying is, all of you should try and get engaged. It is never too late. If you think your job is going to be taken over by your economists, go and do an MBA. Go and do a course. There are online courses on AI. Go and do them. So when you put on your CV, AI, our admission to Oxford is in March. All of us in that class have put AI candidates in Oxford University. And if you know the number of calls we get, please, come and see us. When you graduate, come, I want to talk to you. So go and do it. This is your time. It's your generation. So don't wait. Thank you very much. You'll be wonderful. Thank you.
Just appreciate it once more. This has been very, very educative and informative, with great insights. I thoroughly enjoyed his presentation, and I'm sure we all did. Yes? Can I have a yes? Yes. Fantastic. So many things. I kept thinking about so many things when I stood out there. We really need to pray for our country, Nigeria.
Yeah. So the next one. So the impact of stress and burnout, recognizing the enemy, okay? So there are 64 young Nigerians in the workforce that suffer from burnout and severe mental health issues. That's a huge amount, 64%. And I don't know how many of you have jobs? Please, I hope this isn't live or anywhere. How many of you are tired of your managers? I'm surprised when everybody put their hands up. I don't know, there's just this crazy culture of micromanaging in Nigeria. And I really don't know why, and I'm so sorry ladies, you just have to be honest. It's amongst female managers and leaders. Sorry? Yeah, I've seen that in workplaces. So we train in workplaces as well. We train people on mental health and how to manage mental health issues in the workplace. And some of the feedback is usually from oppression from managers and bosses, and it's usually from female bosses. And I don't know what the hunger is for power in Nigeria, that, if you're given a ruler for 10 minutes, you want to be a dictator. And I really, really hope that us as youth who are trying to advance our voice, I pray that as our voices get stronger, we don't oppress anyone. Because something people need to understand is when you get to the top, power is very addictive. And before you know, your character changes. You start out as a person who's super nice, you're for the people, you live by the people, you're a lawful person, and the moment you get to the top, everything changes. It completely changes. My mentor, or can I call her my everyone, I'm not Yoruba, please correct me if I said that correctly, or incorrectly. Just recently, she's been made the chairman of philanthropy for Nigeria in the office of the president. And I really love something that she's been doing. She hasn't, done a whole party and a big celebration or anything. She just locked herself up, and, we're Christians, so please permit me if I, revert back to my faith. And she just locked herself up and just been praying that she doesn't change. She's been praying that she doesn't change. Because she's in a room full of people who are hungry and thirsty for blood. To put it in, not literal blood, please don't get confused. But that's the country we're in. Once people have access to power, they oppress. It's how the system works. So how do we have a system that's more of a level playing field? How do we train ourselves now that when we get to a position of power, and let's not, it's great to think far, and I believe everybody here will be an amazing leader. I truly believe that the fact that you came here today and you support this initiative, you will be. But let's start training our minds now. One, not to get so frustrated and burnt out that we take it out on other people and our kids. Because the only reason we're trying to do this stuff and grow and strengthen our voice and advance our voice is because we're trying to bring change for other people. Does that resonate with anybody? Amazing. Okay. Identify the signs and symptoms. What are your triggers? It's easy, sometimes it can be hard, but sometimes it's easy to identify when you have burnout. In women specifically, or for example, I'll use in me, when I'm starting to feel burnt out, I get irritated very easily. Anything you do irritates me. If you sneeze, I'm irritated. Why do you sneeze? If you flush a toilet, I'm irritated. My husband is tired of me sometimes. But that's how I see, okay, I'm getting tired. I start to procrastinate. Something I'm supposed to do, it could take 2 minutes. Even if it's something as simple as dressing the bed, I just don't have the energy to do it. How are you identifying what the signs are and the symptoms are in yourself? I always say this to some of our clients and our patients. I always say, get to know yourself. Spend time with yourself so you know when you are triggered and when depression is creeping up on you. Some people who have depression will suffer from some sort of mental illness or mental burnout. It never really goes. You don't get cured from it. You manage it. So you begin to identify, okay, I can see this is happening to me. Some people, it's overeating. Some people start binge eating. They don't know why they're eating, they're just so hungry. You'll get into a place of burnout. You are so tired that you just overeat. Some people it's the opposite. Some people stop eating. Some people start crying. Women will ask, oh, is this coming on or is this? Men will lock up, they don't want to speak to anybody. They don't know what it is. You're getting burnt out. So I just want you guys to write something in your notes. You can write it now, you can spend time with yourself later, and I encourage everybody, after today, please lock yourself up for even if it's 30 minutes today, and spend time with yourself and say, what are some of the things that are frustrating me at the moment? What are the things that are making me feel burnt out? What am I doing that's different from what I normally do? Why am I lazy to go to the gym? Why are you lazy? Why don't I want to read this book? Why don't I want to do my essay that needs to be submitted at 12 a.m.? Yeah? Amazing, next one. Great. The importance of mental health in the marketplace. Sorry guys, are you guys still with me? Yes. Are you enjoying this conversation? Are you learning something? I really hate talking at people. Please, if you want to talk back at me, please feel free. I really don't enjoy talking at people. So I love this from the US Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy, who said, a healthy workplace is the foundation of a thriving organization and healthier communities. As we recover from the worst of the pandemic, we have an opportunity and the power to make workplaces engines for mental health and well-being. I call it the marketplace because anything we do, we can be in the marketplace. Some people are entrepreneurs, some people are in the workforce, some people are stay-at-home moms, that's a job. Argue with your mirror, it's a job. Everybody is doing something and somebody is in the marketplace. And if you're not doing well mentally in the marketplace, you can't thrive in the marketplace. And if you think about how many hours a day you spend with your colleagues, especially people who work, I saw a majority of people put their hands up when we said who's in the workforce. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. Yes. You spend about 16 hours a day, most people, with your colleagues. Now imagine you go into work and your mental health isn't together. Imagine you go into work and you're burnt out. How does that affect your team? Business owners, CEOs, how does that affect those under you? How do you encourage productivity if people are mentally unwell? In Nigeria, I've seen a few people who've been fired because they're depressed. And to me, that's disgusting. I've had my own story of mental health, which I'll share very quickly. I went through a phase in my life that, I had a really hard life when I was young. I went through a lot of trauma. And as I grew up, I got successful. At a really young age, I was very, very lucky. And at this point, I was working for JP Morgan. I'm sure some of you know JP Morgan. And I had a great life. High rise, great job, great perks. Life was great relationship. Everything was great in my life. But I got super depressed. And I couldn't understand it. I was in a dark place. I couldn't control my mind. I couldn't control anything. And I was really, really lucky that my workplace gave me 3 months off work, fully paid. I didn't do a thing. I was just at home. And they also offered me a counselor and a therapist who would come to my house once every 2 days to check on me, to talk it through. It was such a crazy time in my life to the point where I overdosed on like 54 pills and it got dramatic, so I got into that place and I didn't know I could get to that place. But then I found out I had delayed trauma. Some people have delayed trauma that's causing burnout. Some people are in really comfortable environments. You speak to somebody, they tell you, oh, I live in Ikoyi. You're saying, oh, lucky you. They're driving a really nice car, you're like, I wish I could be them. But you don't know the kind of trauma they've gone through that's affecting them. Your financial status has nothing to do with your mind. Honestly, it just depends on how you look at life. Everybody will make it one day. I heard this thing and I truly believe if you do something well enough for 10 years, over and over again repeatedly, you're going to make it. Honestly, I truly can't listen to anybody on how to get successful. Just repeat, rinse and repeat for like 10 years, in most cases 5 years, you're going to make it. Mental health has no, there isn't a category for those who go through mental health. It's not financial. It's not based on gender. It doesn't discriminate. It falls on anyone. But I was really lucky that I was in an environment that enabled me to get better. Most people are in Nigeria and they're in an environment here that doesn't recognize it. It's a taboo. you tell your parents you're depressed, they'll take you to church. They'll go for deliverance. It's funny, but it's sad. There are young girls who have been raped at young ages, who are living with it and dealing with it. And parents are saying, oh, it didn't happen. No, it can't be your uncle. No, it can't be him. It's you. You're not sure. It sounds funny, but that's the truth. That's what's happening. And when people die, they don't know the reason they died. They would die from suicide, overdose. Girls will get depressed because of relationships. Do you know the trauma in those relationships? And I know we want to come here today to hear something inspiring, but this is real life for many people. I don't know if any of you who've gone to the UK, gone to London, but it's so sad, something that used to happen before I got into mental health. And when I was on my way to work, I worked in, my office was in Canary Wharf. And I'm getting on the train and you hear an announcement that, oh, the trains are stopping because somebody jumped in front of the train and they died. And instead of you to say, oh my gosh, that's so sad, life is like, could you not have jumped in another train track? I mean, I need to get to work. That's the reality of life, and that's how it is. The UK is such a depressed place. God help us. Don't move there if you want to, but you can if you want. You know, there are so many things that happen around the world. Let's move on. I can talk about this for 100 hours. Next. The second is reduces absenteeism and presenteeism. There are many cases where people will struggle to come to work. They'll think of many reasons, they'll lie, and you as an employer or as an employee, if it's your teammate or something like that, it can be really frustrating. The work has to fall on you. It happens a lot. If there's less staff, you work more hours, and it's stressful. But the truth is, people are going through things, but they don't know how to explain it. They can't explain it. And even when they're present, they aren't present. Have you ever been sat across somebody, you're speaking to them, but it's like they're not hearing you? People in their minds, people are thinking. And even on that, I applaud Nigerian men. I applaud all my, please clap for yourselves, Nigerian men. Please. You guys are doing a great job. I see Nigerian men, you carry your family, your wife, in most cases, doesn't have to worry about the finances of the home or the management of the home. It's mainly just, you know, keeping the home and things like that. It's so amazing. In the abroad, it's not culture. Everything is 50-50. The wife pays 50 on the mortgage, the husband 50 on the mortgage, depending on your lifestyle. So everybody's carrying mental stress. So you come to find you're speaking to a fellow gentleman, he's thinking, he's not with you. Some of you ladies, oh, he doesn't listen to me when I'm speaking, he doesn't listen. You've asked him to take you out to go and eat, or you've asked him to take you to Zaza. How is he going to pay the bills? How is he going to do it? Everybody has things on their mind. So I want us to be really conscious of these things. I love that. Take a picture if you need to so you can remember. And then finally, creating a positive work environment. This can be either for your think tank, your NGO, your business, your actual workplace. It is important you have a positive work environment. It makes you more creative, you produce better, you look forward to going to work. We already have the sunshine in Nigeria. Yes, it can be too hot. It can be a lot. But at least we wake up in a place where there's sunshine. You should be excited to go to work. Whether or not you're doing something you love, there are people who are doing things they love and just don't want to get up. So let's all try and collectively get together to create a positive work environment. Great things come out of people who are mentally well. We look at things like AI and stuff like that, and you know, I too have worried about job replacement with AI. But nothing can ever take away the fact that AI was created by humans. It was created by humans. So that's the power of the mind. Robots are created by humans. There's certain banks that 10 years ago, they don't have people there. They just have different ports you go to, you put the money in, it goes straight into your account. Well, in the UK and in America, I don't know about Nigeria, but you know, technology has been taken over, digitalization has been taken over. People are making millions of dollars on TikTok. Like, it's crazy what, you know, technology is doing nowadays, but it was created by humans. Yeah? Amazing. Guys, are you still with me? Yeah. If you're with me, say yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so understanding what, whether it is you have a company, whether it is you're in a company, these are some of the things that you can maybe manage, to see how it can help you to reduce your stress. So you have things like demands, overworking, or thinking about their parents back in the village or something. So you know from some of these things. So if they do speak to you, or even if they don't speak to you, try and encourage this conversation. Okay, so things for mindfulness and stress reduction. So incorporating mindfulness practices. So some things like this it's called white noise. So oceans, TV white noise, things like that, it really helps with stress. Journaling, writing down how you feel is also another one. And something else that people think is crazy, talking to yourself. It's really important. Anything you speak out, it leaves your heart. Super important.
I have the microphone here. Just raise your hand, introduce yourself, and ask your question. Any question on mental health?
Any comments?
Comments.
Okay, so we've got something.
For section so far. My name is Karina. What I'm about to talk about is like my own story. So, some few years ago, I think during the COVID era, I was all alone. I was working from home, working all night, and I was depressed all through that period with my work, with everything, with kind of lonely and all that. So, I noticed that I started keeping late nights, and then I stopped sleeping. There was a week I didn't sleep at all. I felt like just running before a bus and just committing suicide. So, but after that, I started working towards coming out of that state. So what I did first of all was, my mind was telling me to leave my job, and I did. I left my job. I started business. So now, what I notice is, I've been able to kind of get better sleep, but I don't still sleep as much as I want to. Like last night I didn't sleep at all till this morning. But sometimes I do sleep. So what I want to ask is, I've been able to kind of be at peace with myself. I don't feel that depression anymore, but how do I still kind of calm myself to be able to sleep? Because that's like one thing that keeps coming, even after that time. But though it was worse than I've been taking drugs. There was a time I was taking drugs, but I had to stop it. So I don't know if you can kind of enlighten me or the steps I can take to be able to come out of it totally.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that story. Thanks for being vulnerable. Insomnia is a huge part or a huge symptom of depression, and unfortunately it doesn't go immediately. So some of the things you need to do is, some of the traumas that have come out of that depression, your mind is still processing it, and you wouldn't even recognize when you're overthinking. Even when you feel like you're not thinking anything, your mind is still overworking. You need to train your brain back into sleep patterns, right? And you can do that through you can do that from getting into sleep training patterns. So you kind of need to be in a position whereby you are on a schedule. So sleep at 9, go to bed at 9, put your phone away, close your eyes. You keep doing it on repeat. Even if you don't sleep, you just keep doing it. Eventually, you will train your brain back into a sleep pattern. Does that help? Secondly, reach out. Yeah?
You made a comment that you were working for the JP Morgan at the time, and everything was going pretty well. Then all of a sudden, you went into depression. So at the time, what caused your depression, or what would you pinpoint to be the cause of your depression?
That's a good question. So there's something called delayed trauma. And it's clinical. So it could be you have so many things going on. You don't have a lot of things going on in your life. Because of resilience, you're just being strong. So you work on autopilot. You're not thinking, you're just doing. You're doing. And when you get to a place of peace, everything just comes back. So all the thinking you didn't do.
I can see why you say that you work a lot with women, because men, it's a different ballgame. We get depressed quite often, but I'm yet to meet the depression that a couple of beers won't solve.
Yeah.
So, and I'm thinking, and that's the thing, what we need. So I'm thinking that perhaps a lot less women would be depressed if they went somewhere and tossed back a couple of glasses of beer, like women, men, like men. Yeah. So we get together, this is January, so we're still recovering from December expenses. Yeah. And right while we're still recovering, there's the school fees thing, and some other things. So just talking about it now, I'm feeling depressed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang out after work with my guy, and we toss back a few and see if it works. And it solves the depression. So do you think if women took themselves out and they drank beer, sorry for your trouble, I know you went through that depression. Do you drink beer?
I hate beer. I did used to love good cognac though.
Well, no, that's serious. That's very different. Beer is...
Keyword used to.
Do you think it would help if you tried it?
So no, it wouldn't work. And it doesn't work on men either.
That's just what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it wouldn't, just to quickly answer, it doesn't work on men either. There are so many, we have 2 questions here. There are so many men who, in front of their friends, they'll pretend. Men don't open up like you want them to, okay? So they'll pretend and be like, oh, it's okay. When they go back home, it still plays on their mind. Yeah, so it never really, my husband goes out and has a few beers. He laughs. When I call him, he's so happy. He comes home, he locks himself up. The bills are a lot. Even though I do like to help out, but he says no. But anyway, next person.
Thank you so much. My name is Kate Peters. Okay, what are the common mental health issues you have experienced with teenagers? I have a lot of teenagers around me, so sometimes they act so funny that you wonder why they act the way they do. So I want to really know if it's actually a mental health issue that they have, and how do I know if a teenager around me has a mental health issue?
That's a really amazing question. Teenagers are such an interesting set of group of people because they're in self-discovery. And amongst teenagers, there's a lot of competition. And unfortunately, something parents don't do very well is they compare, especially at that teenage age. Your friend is doing better, why can't you be like? And these things play on their mind, and it is depression. It starts as anxiety, they get anxious. Do you ever have teenagers who, they go to D and they don't want to go home, they go and hang out with their friends, because anxiety starts and it gets into depression. They're compared, they look at their friend who's prettier in school, the boy they likes the other girl who's prettier than them, or the guy is a better player than them in a certain sport. So how you begin to notice is they just want to be by themselves. Teenagers, that's their big thing. They lock up in a room. Be very careful when a teenager does, because you need to know what is feeding your teenager. Who are they listening to in that time? Yeah, especially even online, please be very, very careful. Many parents have lost their teenagers to this thing. Does that answer your question?
Talk to them, you encourage them, because the truth is, I might be a parent and I might not have that. You said something about comparing. Yes, I want my child to do well.
Yeah.
And if I see the friend doing more better than her, and I know this is what my daughter can do, and I tell her, this is what you can do, why are you, your friend is doing more better than you, and I know you have the ability to do it. Sometimes as a parent, I can just say that to her. I might not mean what I say, but you just said something, they take it to heart and all that. Most times I feel they might want to talk to somebody outside that environment that they are in. Okay. So I'm asking if you have like a foundation or a forum where you can talk to them and all that.
Bias at all. We're not age biased, so they can reach out to us and we will speak to them at no cost at all. But we're more focused on speaking to the parents than them. I understand it's just natural to say, like, look at your friend. But that look at your friend, you sowed the craziest seed. Don't say look at your friend. You know, you should use your words wisely when speaking to your teenagers. Another thing I encourage mothers to do is be an example of what you want your child to be.
A few minutes, we want to talk business. Now, so I would like this session to be a bit interactive because I know that I've been seated for like a while. I don't want you guys to sleep on me. So I try as much as I can to make sure that I engage you. So how many business people do we have here? You're a businessman, woman, okay? Business, 1, 2. A businessman. Fantastic, I like that. Another business, okay? Business, 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 business. Oh, I know that tape is going to be business all the way. All right. Okay, for those who are not business centric yet, how many of you wish to start a business? Like you've been aspiring to start a business? Okay, 1. Okay, on the other. Business is part of us. So it's important that we understand these things very well and we discuss it. So I tried my best. I know that I am to discuss about the evolution of market structure. I've tried to optimize it in a way that by living here today, you have the drive to either be successful in your business or to start a business. So I want you to really listen to me and also, be able to ask questions. And one thing I also try to do is make sure that we try to look at how we can leverage technology, specifically AI. Doing business these days is quite much better than it used to be. Even though many people running businesses in Nigeria will disagree. Just to share a little story. If you're a business, especially running a startup in Nigeria, if you're not fixing light issues, you're fixing internet. If you're not fixing internet, there's just one problem. It's either there's no fuel to run your activities, just so many issues. But aside that, thanks to technology, to make things a bit easier for us as a business people in Nigeria. So pretty much, my name is Nolatui, like she said. I just have passion to help people. My passion is to help others achieve success. That is where I derive joy. Seeing other people achieve success. And pretty much I've been in the technology space for the past decade. And in 2015 I decided to take a new turn, which is instead of using those technology for myself alone, why not just share it for other people so that they too can be successful in what they do. Alright, so looking at what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to look at the challenges of business, the opportunities that the digital age presents to us. What are those things, what are those opportunities that we can tap on as individuals, especially when you want to start a business? Yes, the funny thing is we learned about AI in the morning. Some of us are still getting to think how we can connect. But the fortunate thing here is that when you hear all of these terms, they are just enablers. Alright, so I know a young lady here asked, going to school for 4 years, and you're not even a graduate yet. There's something already threatening the validity of what you're learning. What the technology space is just telling us is that we need to do things faster and more efficiently. So take for instance, if I need to go for a 4-year course, how can you be a graduate even before you graduate? So how can you get to the finish line even before you officially get to the finish line? That's what AI is about. And I'm looking at an educational system as a place where you don't literally need to spend 4 years. Because guess what? In the nearest future, you don't even really need to learn. You can actually buy a chip, plant in your brain, to have access to anything that you want. even though I am a bit afraid that when we get to that point, just imagine me wearing a chip to talk to you guys. I'll sound so intelligent. Maybe for some reasons I forgot to put money in my credit card and the subscription expire. And the owner of the software switch it off. How will I be able to communicate to you guys effectively? So those are some of the challenges we need to look at. But the bottom line is, with the advancement of technology, we can't afford to do things the normal way. We can't run business the normal way. And those are things that we're talking about here. I'm going to try to rush through the conversation because I don't want the time to go off on me. So we're going to look at market structure. And this is for people who are already running business and people who want to even start. Where do you start market structure? How to drive business model innovation. Now we look at emerging technologies. So like I said, if I'm supposed to do something in 5 days, how can I do it in 1 day? Those are things to consider when running business. To be honest, there's nothing new around
any other social media platform. And she said no. That she does trainings and all of that. She makes beautiful headgears. And that she saw, one time she just put what she was doing online. And she went on Instagram or somewhere and she saw someone advertising it that it's claiming ownership. And I said, okay, why don't you put watermarks? And he said the watermark was there. And the person still claimed and said, this is me, and directing people, so she was like, people are stealing her ideas, and she now told me that now the Lagos State governor's wife, someone called her because she went for an exhibition to come and do some training. That if she was online, maybe it was that person they would have called, not her. Yeah. Or maybe they would not even go there. So, applying technology sometimes, the challenge is there, theft. Yeah. Then also competition. Now, you see, like I sell some household things, and then when I go online, they are cheaper than what I sell because maybe they get theirs direct, or I don't know how they get theirs. So I now restricted to WhatsApp so that I can be converting my people. Yes, and I'll tell them, okay, what I can vouch, I say is good. If what I can't, I say you're on your own. So that at least I can make some income. Because going online, you understand what I'm saying? The competition is high. So applying technology, I mean, there are pros and cons, and in this age of, so what do you advise?
Okay, so brilliant one there. So, technology is getting better every day. And I just feel very sorry to that friend of yours that was a victim of intellectual property theft. Now, the funny thing is, do you know that if she and the person who stole the item were to go to court, the stealer might win? And the reason is this. Is there any digital print that she owns that product? The point here is, if not for anything, for accreditation. All the social media platforms keep timestamp of all these things that we do. Remember, if anything happened in places like the US, UK, they will call the social media platform to confirm this timestamp. Whatever happens, they're able to confirm it. So if you want to own your intellectual property, the first to post it, own that content. The first person to own it, to post it, own the content. But that doesn't now mean that if somebody steals your item that is not online, you cannot press charges. It's possible. But the point here is, you can try it. But also to put it straight, regardless of how you feel about your pricing, every business should be online. Every business should be on the social media. Guess what? Not everybody will buy from you. But based on the quality and the standard, you can't compromise that. If you buy your item for 15 naira, you need to sell it for either 55 naira to gain your profit. And people who know you for that would come for you at every point in time. So, and that's how we wrap it up on this one. Thank you guys for listening.
Professional sugar level and any other test, I think they're running for free. but the advisor should get some supplements they have and they're selling. So make sure you check to ensure that you're healthy and fit to lead. So it's time for lunch. Thank you very much. Let's appreciate our speakers for the first session. Please, let's put our hands together for them. Let's appreciate them. Thank you very much.
Just a young gun with the quick fuse. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
I'm online. Are you aware?
Yes, we're here. We can hear you.
Okay.
Hello, Fidelis?
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, all right.
I'm on.
Okay, good. So we're giving you the floor to speak.
Okay.
Have you introduced her?
Okay, so a brief introduction of Dr. Fidelis de Coha. Dr. Fidelis Teresa de Coha is currently the District Provost for Diversity, Equity and Inclusion at Wayne County Community College District. Since January 2015, she has a doctorate in higher education from the University of Toledo. She has participated in professional development institutes such as the Institute. Yes.
On share?
Yes, you have.
Take federal work study with a minimum of 6 credit hours, and so work and learn. The flexibility, if you have a family, you married early, you have children, so you can continue your life with your family and study and move into higher ed and complete your degree. Now, some people have a difficulty with math and science, so preparation for remedial education is available at a community college, which prepares you for college level courses. But that's what is called a comprehensive community college. So we have transfer education, there are articulation agreements that we have with all these institutions where the courses you take at the community college can be transferred easily on your mark list. So it's also a career education where you can take digital courses and like cybersecurity and be qualified or trained to take a job outside. We have developed that prepares you for a higher course. We have continuing ed, which is all kinds of development and whether it is a dance or music or sewing or anything. Like, for instance, I'm involved in a partnership with a institution called Refuge Nation, which helps refugees from all over the world. So we've had Afghanistan, women from Afghanistan and Yemen, and even from sewing on an industrial machine. And at the graduation, we have employers from Detroit coming to the graduation and offering them a job. We also have industrial training where the business partner has us train groups of individuals in their association and organization. Finally, we have e-learning, which is online learning, and where you don't have to travel to the building, but you can be at home. We have Zoom and Microsoft Teams and other platforms that we use, and we have Ultra on Blackboard that is used.
All right, so thank you very much.
There is more, okay, so feel free to ask me questions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fidelis. The essence of having the community college here is for those who are interested in going to community college. What makes them different from a conventional university, which is like an A-level here in Nigeria, is that they get the opportunity of serving their communities. And you know what this whole thing of this workshop is, what it takes to lead in the 21st century. So leadership comes with you're serving your community. So you're being trained not just to have an IQ, but you're also being trained for service. That's what this community college is in America. And it's easier for you to, if you want to apply to community college, it's easier. It's like an A-level, so 2 years in a community college, and then you can transfer your credits to a conventional university in the United States. So Dr. Fidelis here, she is a provost. A provost is like a vice chancellor that we have in Nigeria. So with that, Dr. Fidelis, we're very happy having you here and making out time in this very cold weather. I know it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock in Michigan, and it's pretty cold, it's warm here, so we're happy to have you here. Thank you. Yeah, please can you leave out? It's pretty cold, it's about -16, very cold in Michigan.
Yes, it is
very cold.
In fact, we've got a
school to the moderator so that she can answer your questions, and you can answer it as it relates with our culture, because you're a provost for diversity, culture, and inclusivity. Diversity, she's the provost of diversity. Diversity means people that are different, and culture, she understands our different cultures and how do we include diversity. Like in Nigeria, we have Yorubas, we have Igbos, we have Hausas, and we have the minorities. And we work with all of them in the public sector. So how do we, connect with those differences rather than breaking us out? Rather than breaking us out, this person is different from me, so I don't like them. But it's called inclusivity, and that's what she does. So with that, I hand over to the moderator to ask you questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
And thank you very much, Dr. Fidelis, for taking out your time to be here today. So our first question for you is, can you share how Wayne Community College navigates the digital revolution in education while managing diversity? Did you get the question?
Yes. Okay. You're asking me, can I share how Wayne County Community College navigates the digital revolution in education while managing diversity?
Yes.
Yes. Continued doing what we were doing. What I had started was college, and then we were asked to close down the college and move everything online. So thinking through that process, I came up with the conference calls. So we started with conference calls and had 40 people on a call, and moved from conference calls to
people that have inner contentment, peace of mind, harmony, happiness, humility, passion and impact so that we can collectively rebuild Nigeria. That's the lifestyle I live, that at 70, my energy is like that of a non-younger person. Thank you very much.
Revenue enforcement policies to accommodate the digital economy and support emerging markets.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I deal with the informal sector. So, Mo, where you go? To answer your question, there's a lot going on with the government. Especially, I'll speak about the Lagos State government and the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service because I work for LIRS. So we are leveraging on a lot of in the digital space because we understand that ease of doing business enhances voluntary compliance. So we've taken time to look at our taxpayers and to separate them into small, medium, micro, and the nano. So for the nano, I'll start with the nano because they are the base of the pyramid. We have what we call the Ibile application because we've understood the fact that a lot of people in the market space, they do not want to leave their market or their business to go looking for one tax station or the other. So we've realized that we need to go into that market space to meet Yasikira or Yaana when they are selling because they don't want to leave that business to have somebody else selling beside them take their clients. So we go in there, do their biometrics and all that, ensure that they become taxpayers, and we give them an enabling environment where they have the requisite applications. In this regard is the Ibile application, they can do their biometrics, they can pay instrumentally, and then we also introduce what is called the presumptive tax, because we understand that in that space, a lot of people do not keep income and expenditure of any sort. They are not learned, they do not keep books of record, they are non-banking, they keep their monies in shops. So unfortunately, somewhere like Mandela that got bonds now, a lot of those traders would have their money in the shops as against having it in the bank. So we are trying to ensure that they become bankable by teaching them the applications to use. Then also for people that are corporate organizations, we understand that yes, something like filing of returns is sacrosanct, and when you do not file, it's a criminal liability because it's a strict liability. So we created what is called the enterprise application. So wherever you are in anywhere in the world, you can file your returns without visiting any of our offices. You can file in the UK, you can file in the US, you can also, after filing, you can make payments there. There are frequently asked questions. Where those frequently asked questions do not meet your needs, you can always do a chat box. There's the chat box also. We have Instagram handles, we have Twitter handles. So we leverage on technology because we understand that the more people know the what, when, where, how of taxation, what to pay, where to pay, how to pay, and who to pay to, it will enable and enhance voluntary.
Are we happy?
See, so she deserves the name Powerhouse. So my next question for you, Dr. Ifewa, aka Powerhouse. How can integrative lifestyle practices help individuals and organizations thrive in the era of digitalization and entrepreneurship?
Thank you very, very
much. I was really enjoying it, but we have to round up now. So we'll be taking questions. This and the first. Okay, no question from our online community. Any question in the room? Does anybody have a question in the room? So if there's no question. And Mr. Caleb, this was a very inspiring session. I took home, or I'm going to take home so many gems and teach my children, my husband. Don't then through animation or check out his business and all of that. So thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. So my parents is coming.
Using African stories to teach young people, and we are leveraging animations, using different type of animation. For example, use local things young people see in their various communities to teach complex and difficult science subjects. And recently we just started doing something on tech courses also. We have evaluated and discovered that a lot of young people who want to go to school, that don't have the funding to go to school, that are already working, can easily go back online and still complete their secondary school education and prepare for WAEC. And for those in secondary school who also need to start learning tech courses, We have simplified cybersecurity in a way that young people can learn and learn faster. So 2 problems we are solving: we are scaling access to quality education and we are improving learning outcomes. So these 2 things is a major component of our work. And the other phase of it is we're also working with teachers. We're currently training a lot of teachers. We have a partnership with the Lagos State government. In the last 1 year, we have trained over 600 teachers for the Lagos State government, Ministry of Education. We are empowering the different skills, including education and leadership concepts, because we discovered that a lot of these teachers, once you mention technology, they are already scared. And they feel this is coming to take my job or coming to take my life. We started with this concept of educational leadership with in partnership with the school with the United States. We did the research to see how we can, first of all, talk to the mind of these young people to see the importance of you practicing leadership in your class, because as a teacher, you are responsible for the students. So you are indirectly the leader, leading this group of students, and whatever you do has like this huge influence on this student. We have significantly done that, especially with Lagos State Education Technical Board. So I think I'm just going to stop.
I've used a couple of tools, digital tools, in my journey as an entrepreneur. And what have I used it for exactly? How have I leveraged this technology? Content creation. I've used it for content creation to create content for the publics. For instance, when having multimedia apps, I've used multimedia apps to enhance multimedias. That's it. Creation of, for instance, you are having an image, you are having a video, you are having a text file. You can enhance the images and those files with the use of digital tools. So I've used it in content creation, in content collaboration of projects. For instance, during the pace of my work at App Insurance, I was privileged to collaborate with some people in USA via TeamViewer, and also via distribution. I've used it for distributing. For instance, we have memes. Memes are like pictorial, how do I say, they're graphics files which communicate a product or a service or something to you. So I've used such in marketing for universities as a director, the former director of Precious Cornerstone University. We've used that, and we've communicated to a lot of to the public, and also this brings us back to user interaction. When we use search, when we publish search on the social media, the social media gives us or gives the platform for users to communicate, to react, to comment on products. So there we get feedbacks from people. So basically, those are the avenues we use. I have engaged.
That we can now use IT and digitalization to build a nation. You can't build a nation with youths that are not actualizing their greatest potentials. Our youths in this country are struggling. There are no mentors. The role models are all, I don't want to say, many of them are stealing money, which they shouldn't steal. And I want to say something here. Every mother should stop accepting gifts from stolen wealth from their husbands. Does that make sense? Yes. Every mother should stop hurrying their children to marriages that may fail ab initio. Spend money and put your children into growth mindset and engineering lifestyle classes. So they can equip the skills and the knowledge to go and make a marriage work. When they get out there, they're going to look for sustainable entrepreneurship business, not their own. Thank you very much.
I was listening to an earlier speaker, and he said technology without the requisite functional structure is useless. It sort of ties to what she has said. Having technology in the wrong hands is it's more than a time bomb. Now tying it back to taxation, the reality is that technology in the hands of a lot of entrepreneurs, they really do not understand that what you are doing in that your little corner is being blown up with technology. And what I've realized about Nigerians is that as Nigerians, we like to boast. When you buy a house, you stand in front of the house. And then for some people, even if it's not their house, because they have a kind of reputation to portray, or they want to portray that they are biggie girls, they are all that doctor has spoken about. You stay in front of somebody else's house and you claim it as yours. You stay in front of somebody else's car and you claim it as yours. And you do not understand the tax implication of all that you are doing, because the tax authority also looks into the digital world. They profile. Life is about profiling. You have kidnappers profiling, you have a lot of people profiling you. It's a lot of data there that are being reused, repurposed for whoever wants it to be. So we are out there saying, oh, I've attained 1 billion, launching the tribe of Zion. And you are then wondering why we are celebrating your success. Because for us in Lagos, the more you succeed, the better for us. We are happy that our entrepreneurs should succeed. Because in your success, therein lies revenue for government. Because when you succeed, you must apportion the share that belongs to government and pay it as tax. And when you do not, we will then confront you. Congratulations, you just bought an LR Jeep or a Phantom, and you even said the Phantom is digit has come, and you use that as your plate number. And we celebrate you because we are happy with your success. And then you come on and say, oh no, I'm not the owner, it's somebody else. And the onus is on you to prove your case beyond reasonable doubt, because you are alluded to the fact that you are the owner. And until you are able to prove otherwise, it is yours to own and to pay taxes due. So a lot of profiling goes on. Then we are merging your business with your incomes in your accounts and all that, because it's a lot of blockchain and data there also. So there are data fingerprints all over the place, and people are living it. Even a lot of organizations like Amazon and all that, they do use all this resource to know the kind of things you like to buy on Amazon, and they push all those type of information to you, knowing that those are the type of things that you want. So the government is using a lot of, are we there yet to know? Because the reality is that for Nigeria, tax is still about issue of residency, where you are resident. So the company's income tax section 13 of the company's income tax still just says that where businesses are done outside the country, it is only if they have that footprint or presence in Nigeria that we can actually assess them to tax. But the reality is that with the banks and with a lot of people trading on Instagram, people are crediting your account with this money. So the government also has authority to tell the banks to use VAT, value-added tax, as deductions on what you trade on and what businesses you do. So it's important that we understand the digital world to an extent as entrepreneurs before we access it, so that it doesn't work against us and it works for us and ensures compliance.
Maybe that or that has made that possible and much more easier. So this is how technology has revolutionized the process. We using technology to enhance what has already been in existence. If it is not in existence, then we are mistaking technology for impact, which this generation is at the risk of mistaking technology for impact. Technology is on one end
Jamal was here 7 o'clock this morning. Made it happen with technology too. We have one more speaker before we go, but I want us to take all those good pictures.
Hello, please. Can you hear me? Adjust. Yeah.
Two more people. Anita, our gentleman from UNESCO.
Yeah.
Is it UNESCO? Was he from the UNESCO? Yes. Please. No. I hope this is not the end. We have one more speaker before we go, but I want us to take this picture. Two more, we break them in 15 minutes. That's 30. We have to go. People are coming from the mainland. Okay. Where's the professional photographers? Can they come?
Yeah, they are.
Now drop this.
Thank you very much. Please, can we just put our hands together for them? Please, can we appreciate them, please? No, this is not encouraging. Please, can we put our hands together for them? Let's encourage them, please. Thank you very much. You know, it's very important to give honor to whom honor is due. I'll just give a little intro of Dr. Ife Mawakasi. You know, this one is actually a powerhouse. She's a powerhouse. She's the first woman in Nigeria to start commercial shipping, to own a ship. Wow. Let's put our hands together for her. The first director of GT Bank. Please let's put our hands together for her. Medical doctor that went into properties, into maritime. She's the powerhouse. Please let's appreciate her. This has been very, very exciting and educative. Honestly, it pains me that some people miss this. So I'm going to call on our next speaker for just 15 minutes, Mr. Joshua Aluko. And he's going to talk on technology revolutionizing non-profit and volunteerism.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. I indeed enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me. Quickly, can we just, Mrs. Caroline is such an amazing person. I met her last year, and indeed, she's a woman of vision. Please, can we just stand up just for a few seconds and put our hands together for Mrs. Caroline? Let's tell her we love her. Please tell her we love her. You know, she's so amazing. Please have a seat. Thank you for being gentlemen and gentle, beautiful ladies. Thank you so much. So, because of our time, how many of us enjoyed ourselves today? I did. I learned a lot. So, because of our time, I have my slide, but then I won't be using it. Do you have it? So, what we'll just do is we'll just make it available to everyone. Let me just, try to summarize the whole piece of time. So, basically, we're just talking about how digital technology has revolutionized non-profits and volunteering. And it's very easy. See, if you are on Facebook, if you have Facebook, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Now, these platforms are there not for you to insult people on social media, not for you to blast people that you don't like, but for non-profits, it is to enhance our works. Now, let me give an example. If you go to Advancing Youth Voice Initiative website, you see columns there where you can actually register and be a volunteer. You can register and be a volunteer, you can indicate interest in the works. That is the power of digital technology. Now, via digital technology, we have been able to raise the school fees for 1,486 students within the space of 8 years in tertiary institutions. That is the power of digital technology. So for non-profit organizations, you can do a lot by being able to maximize the tools that you have, especially social media. You see social media, you see for NGOs, social media, video streaming, these websites There are tools for you to actually build your community. I've met a couple of people who are into NGOs, and many times they have delay in execution of projects. So I said, why are you having such delay? They say, oh, it's because they're waiting for funds. They're trying to get funds. They're trying to apply for funds. I don't have a problem with that, but you can also build your own fundraising community. Yes, that's what we did. Since 2015 till now, we have not applied for one single grant, but we paid tuition fees of over 1,000 students. It's possible. It's possible. And that's why I love Mrs. Caroline. She is so smart, very smart. I mean, when I met her, one of the first things I observed about her is she's up to date with technology. I was having a chat with her. I went to see her. I was having a chat, and I saw the way she was handling the gadgets and devices, and the way she was scrolling through social media platforms and using digital technology to her own advantage, even before the program started. You have to be able to use what you have to get what you want. If you are into non-profits, if you are into volunteering, you have to be, especially for those who want to go into non-profit organizations. I tell you, you can raise over 100 million using digital technology. I'm not talking about you going to GoFundMe or crowdfunding. There's nothing wrong with that. Please understand. People use that. But I say you can create your own fundraising community with different platforms. When I started out, I remember that I said, how can I get this done? And I remember going through my Facebook profile, then I had about 500 friends on Facebook. So I said, if I do Facebook ads, which I did, but it didn't yield much results as I did. So I said, if I can talk to my friends on Facebook and I can get them to believe in this vision, eventually they will tell another person. That will tell another person. You see? And that was what we did. I started out, I reached out to my Facebook friends, I reached out to a lot of them, probably almost the entire 500. I got about 300 people to believe. Then from there we moved. And today we have over 20,000 members. You see? So that is the power of digital technology, the power of social media. So I'm trying to rush up my conversation. So what we'll do is we'll make the presentation available so you can just go through it at your own time. It's detailed, it has a lot of information there, a lot of examples, and it will benefit you. But for non-profits, because you see, technology basically makes life easier. It makes execution of work easier, faster, and you can have that to your advantage as someone who is into non-profits or volunteering. So basically that will be it for today because I'm also watching time. And does anyone have any question in this segment? Thank you. I'm pretty fast, I mean. Thank you. I already told myself, I said I have to be fast. We are watching time. So does anyone have any question? Do I have space to take question? Okay, Mr. Don't let me mention his name. Let me ask you. Okay.
So how do you deal with the rejection? Do you have any superpower of lockup and how do you manage it?
Rejection.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So one thing, please, how many moments do I have? 3. Okay, so one thing is I became immune to it. I dealt with rejection a lot. There was a time I was taking stock because apart from Facebook, I spoke to a lot of people. I remember that initially 2015, 2016, I reached out to as much as in 2015 I reached out to as much as maybe 130 people, and about 80-something told me no, very strong no. Like in fact, one was my friend. She's my friend. She's still my friend. She said, "I beg, stop disturbing me. I said, I don't want it." Okay. So I felt bad. But guess what? Today we have paid the school fees of students with over 400 million naira between 2015 and now. So imagine and that is just tuition fees. We deal with tertiary institutions. That is just tuition fees. We are not talking about feeding, we're not talking about clothes, we're not talking about writing materials. The other day we gave out food to 500 kids. That was just a few days ago. So, you see, imagine if I allow all those things to stop me. Rejection is just part of the journey. But you see, the people that have been assigned to your vision, when they hear you, they will believe you. Provided that you don't give up. That's what Mrs. Caroline is doing. You see, she's not waiting for everyone to believe her first. She's moving. Now we can see what is happening. All of us as we are sitting upright. That is it. So you keep moving. You keep moving, and then God will be with you. So any other question? Can I take one more? Yeah. Okay, another question. Okay, yes sir, please. Your name, please.
Israel. At the end of the day, what's the end goal of the whole crowdfunding and the life of the impact? Aside helping, is there any end goal or any target for you as a firm?
As a firm?
Yes, or as an individual.
As an individual. Yes. For every organization, for every vision, for every individual, for every person, there is a purpose. So you must first identify your purpose. I have identified mine. So how you can know my purpose is by my pursuit. You see? So what I'm pursuing indicates my purpose. So the end goal is the fulfillment of that purpose. And what is the purpose? If you are a human being, which I believe everyone here is, your purpose is to add value to the entire human race, to make life better for individuals other than yourself. It can be in different categories. Some can be spiritual, some can be mental, like my lovely sister the other time, she was talking about mental health. You see, some can be economical, some can be medically, but however, what we are doing all together is to make the world a better place. So we all are taking our place. That is the general input and goal. But for me individually, it's deeper than that. Do you get? But that is the general end goal for every human being that has a purpose. And by the way, everyone has a purpose. They may not know it, but they do. Thank you so much. Okay.
Isaac Newton said, I have seen for that it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. Are there platforms for us to for mentorship?
Absolutely. We do have, yes, we do have, I will not discuss that here because of time, but there are platforms that we do have for mentorship, for training. So we train you. See, please don't get me wrong, crowdfunding, GoFundMe, global giving, all those things, they are good. Nothing wrong with them. I just decided to start from a different path, and it paid off. I discovered that you can actually, because those people too, they created, it is not goals that is donating, it is still money. So they created the platform, so they can create it. You can create yours. You see? So that was what we did, and it paid off. Now, if we want, we had a esteemed Mrs. Caroline was in our program last year. We didn't have to wait for funds to come in. We generated our funds, and we had a massive program, just like she's doing now. You see? So that is the power of taking leadership, of taking ownership. Let me tell you something. If anybody can do it, you can do it. Come on, image. So that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you. All about understanding how to manipulate and use it for your benefit. You know, instead of going to people as if give me 10 naira, 20 naira, there is a way you can credibly raise money to make impact. Thank you very much. At this point, I'm going to call on Mrs. Anita Aka, who is a civil engineer, to take us on communication and team building. 15 minutes. Please, let's appreciate her.
Good day, all. I want to talk about, first of all, I want to appreciate the organizer. Thank you so much, Ma, for this wonderful forum. I want to talk about communication, team building. And I want to buttress more on the soft skills development in modern young leaders. You know, we are all leaders, whether you like it or not. Aristotle, the great philosopher, said that man is political in nature. Now, but how do you relate this to this particular topic? Now, I want us to understand what soft skill communication is all about. Soft skill has another word. It could be common skills, power skills, and essential skills. Now, soft skill means the cluster. Everything that has to do with your personal attributes, your character, your emotional intelligence, in order for you to work with others. So it's all about your character. It's all about how can you be a good person to be a leader. There was a word that just got me when Mrs. Caroline was talking about her team. When she came in the morning and saw them working and she wanted to remain with them, and they asked her to go back because of her health. I realized that she is really communicating properly with her team, and that is where I want to head now. It also means like having that good character to exercise, to carry out your hard skill, that's your technical skill. Like me, I'm a civil engineer. Without character, I can never be established. Dr. Ify Cox said something. She said she had to choose who she is today. She chose the path that made her who she is today. And it has to be with character. Have you chosen your path? Without character, sincerely, you can't grow. You can't grow as a professional or as a leader. Now, I want to also make us understand leadership in the 21st century. Leadership in the 21st century. As a youth, we all know that leadership in our former years, or let's say in the olden days, we know that leadership has to do with command, exercising authority. But my apologies, I have to go to the Bible. In Matthew chapter 20, verse 25 to 27, our Lord Jesus said something. He said, the Lord of this earth, the masters of this earth, lord the authority over their followers. That was what he said. But he now said, we should be careful. For anyone who wants to lead must be a servant. So if you want to be a leader, you should know that you're just a servant, a chief servant. So this particular topic is going to help us. It's like it has helped me. It has helped me and it's still helping me to build in my career and in my pursuit of my goals and professions. Now, I want to make us understand that leadership does not mean because you are Oga, then you go sit down, make everybody do everything for you. No, that's not what it is. As a civil engineer, do you know I also take advice from my bricklayer? Yeah, sometimes I don't know that I'm going wrong, but when I get to site, even with my design, I do the design. And I also vet my design, I check my design. And when I get to site, sometimes my designs might not be that practical for me on the site. And my bricklayer might just go to, engineer, see. And if I'm too rigid, well, I'll make mistakes. So what this particular topic is making you and I understand is that your soft skill, your attributes, that's power for you to listen. Because for you to be a good leader, you must listen. Now I want to go back to the essential skills. There's soft skill essential for young leaders. What are those essential things that makes you a young leader using your soft skills? We have one, communication skills. Under communication skill, you must be an active listener, like I said earlier. You must be persuasive. You must have that ability to read and study. Because if you want to lead and you don't know anything, how will you lead? How will you lead? How people follow you? Also, number two, influencing skill. As a leader, do you have the power to persuade people, to make people know that this is what you're saying is true? I remember as a young engineer, I know I'm a woman. When I go to some offices, I go with my proposals. I see sometimes some people want to talk down on me or at me, but I don't give them that. I still maintain that calm spirit and I still maintain that persuasive spirit because I know what I'm talking about. And at the end of the day, yes, with all insult and everything, I get what I want. Also, you must know the power of expression. The power of expression in that same influencing skill. You must learn how to express yourself positively. You must learn how to carry yourself positively. These are all essential skills that you can use to be a good leader. Another thing again, another skill that was mentioned is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. The ability for you to learn how to control emotions. Not just your own emotions, but other people's emotions. Sometimes I know I go to sites, I will be at the meeting and some consultants, even from Lagos State, when they come around, they try to bully you, talk down on you know, make you feel like you are worthless. Most times I will just keep quiet. I just keep quiet and leave them. I don't say anything. Because sometimes, like they said, you don't know whether they're having mental imbalance. No, you must learn to understand everybody. Where you're coming from is not where other people are coming from. So you must learn to tolerate one another. So I apply this. And even at the end of the day, I have gotten contacts, work contacts from these same people who try to bully me, who try to, make me feel less than myself. And I did that because I was able to control myself when they had their outburst. I continue again. Tolerance for stress and also uncertainty. Something happened, how do you manage it? How do you showcase it with your character? These are things that make you to be a good leader. How to manage uncertainties and how to manage stress. These are the attributes of a good leader. Then another thing I want to talk about is adaptability. You must learn to adapt. See, the world is going digital. I thank God we're all hearing about all this from all the speakers. You must not remain rigid. Learn to grow with the world. Don't say, I'm not Sabia. No, go. Try and learn. Go and learn. Even when I came here, I really was like, if I had that opportunity, I would have brought in more many people because they know me. I don't stop learning. I learn every day. So with that kind of learning, I can adapt. You bring me here. No, I will tell you, say this if I know. I'm a civil engineer, but sometimes I just take myself to the courtroom. Yes. As a civil engineer, I also go into electrical. So just go and know one or two things because I know I work hand in hand with them. So what I'm trying to say in this particular aspect, don't stay where you are. Move. But the world is moving. The world is dynamic, so you have to be dynamic. The next one I'll talk about is the collaboration and teamwork. That's the thing. First of all, the example, or will I say the incident that happened that Mrs. Caroline explained. Teamwork. Teamwork. That's one of the greatest attributes that makes you a leader. If you don't collaborate with your subordinate or with your, like me, my engineer, I don't call him my worker. We call ourselves colleagues. Yes, that's how I talk with him. And when he left for Canada, I won't lie to you, I cried. I cried like a baby because that guy became part of me. He became part of me and I groomed him. I made sure, because most times I'm outside the country and he's here watching for me. So I needed to understand that as a team leader, you cannot walk alone. They said, united we stand, divided we fall. So you must learn to collaborate with one another. You don't know it all, and you're not an island. I remember, do you know that there's a job I got? So I don't want to brag about it. It's about 2 billion naira. Do you know who got me that job? My gate man. Yes, he was the one that introduced me to someone who knew the client. And I did the work for CMACGM. I know you know them. It's a French international, a French company. They are into vessels. You know them very well. You see their container, CMACGM. I built the container for them. And it's true. My gate man that I got to know about it. So collaboration, teamwork. You don't talk to your people anyhow. You treat them special, just like you are. I always tell when they tell me, I don't like the way you say, no, these people they have wives at home and they are kings at their home. So if I don't treat them specially, that means someone else can treat my husband also rudely. So whatever you give out is what you get. Then I want to talk about problem solving. As a team leader, you must learn to solve problems. And also, leadership presence. You must have confidence and you must have influence. Then, what is the future trend of this in conclusion? What is the future trend? The future trend is you must learn to emphasize on soft skill. It is the only thing that can make you a leader. Yes, everyone is going digital, we are having robots and robotic, blah, 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 everything, we are doing that. But without character, we have lost it. Without character, we are going nowhere. So I'm rounding up and I say thank you all. God bless you. Thank you.
So that this is happening on the eve of UNESCO International Day of Education. And in fact, we'll be very busy preparing to mark the event tomorrow, but I have to just make the time to be here today. And I'm so, in fact, impacted over what I see here today. And I believe that when next this kind of program will happen again, we will have more of our young ones come together to have such wonderful section. In the 194 countries of the United Nations, tomorrow we will be marking the event on the theme Learning for Lasting Peace. The SDG Goal 4 that talks about quality education cannot really be achieved without the skill, revolution. We have the digital age now, and how can we in the United Nations community achieve the Goal 4 without the digital revolution being brought into play? And that is why I want to thank the organizer of this program and also her team for making this happen today. And for those of us that are here today, please let's pass on this information. When this kind of program is called, let us all be available. Thank you and God bless you.
On the convener of today's workshop, the founder of Advancing Youth Voice Initiative. Please, let's put our hands together for her. Don't stop, 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 don't stop. Keep moving, don't stop, keep moving, don't stop, keep moving.
This wouldn't have been possible without all of you. I want to thank, first of all, my team. Editor is coming. Woo! 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 Susan is coming. Woo! Ibrahim, come out. The only man that had the harem of all the wives here. I wonder how he managed us. Come on, Ibrahim. And please don't go anywhere. We're all going to take pictures. Our able Patricia, please come. Patricia was here with Ibrahim till 1 a.m. in the morning. This is what we call teamwork. People, where are the others?
Okay, screen.
Okay, some of them have gone, but this wouldn't have been possible. When you give me accolades, big dreams does not run so good. You can't do anything on your own. We have to depend. Like I always say when Madam Engineer spoke about soft skills, when we talk about soft skills, we're not talking about competition. We're talking about collaboration. And let me tell you medically, that any cell that does not collaborate, that decides to leave the other cells of the body and begin to multiply on itself, that cell becomes malignant. This is how it correlates with human being. Anyone that begins to do things on its own Without the collaboration of other people, it becomes malignant. From there, it becomes cancerous. I want all of us, you are the future generation. We're passing the baton to you. My job is to, having spent 5 decades of life, next month will be my 51st birthday. So I'm passing that baton by mentoring and guiding you to take leadership, not from a point of dominance, but from a point of service. From a point of giving yourself. Each one of you has the potential for greatness. Each one of you, your DNA is specific. So you don't need to envy anyone. You've got something inside you. But somebody has to uphold that vision for you. And that's what we do at Advancing Youth Voice Initiative. We take your vision and uphold it. And mentor you. And put a picture in that vision. We give you a vision board on all the 7 categories of your life, your career, your relationships, your contribution, your physical fitness, your nutrition. We take each of those categories one by one, and you create an action plan. You learn to create goals. You learn to have an intentional life. Life is not meant to be random. You wake up in the morning, drink the same coffee, dance around, watch CNN, play around with your phone, 10 years, 20, 30, you're still back, struggle. No, life is intentional. There's a time to rise, there's a time to sleep, there's a time to die, there's a time to laugh, and there's a time to live. So take your destiny into your hands. That is what leadership is all about. Take that destiny into your hands. Life is short. The greatest resource that you have is time. Nobody, you can get rid of anything, but you can't get rid of time. It is a huge resource. Don't waste that time. Take that time. Make something out of it. You don't have to wait for government. You don't have to be at the fence blaming, criticizing. No, you don't have to. Your community, your father, your siblings, the home, be different. There's nothing edifying to shrink so that others will feel insecure around you. There's nothing glorifying that. Playing small. Life is not about playing small. When you play big, when you come out and become the salt of the earth, and become the light of the world, what happens? You give other people the permission to do the same. So after this event, thank you. After this event, I want you to go home and make a decision. Make a decision in January 2024. That was why we set it in January, the beginning. A new chapter waiting to be written. Make a decision that from henceforth you give yourself to everybody that comes around you and make a change. And if we all can do that individually, then we'll make a better world. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for making this happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you, thank you. Thank you all. So can we come forward and take a whole picture? And then before I let go, I said what we do, Advancing Youth Voice Initiative, we do training, we do mentoring. So you can go to our website, www.advancingyouthvoice.org. That is our website. We're going to send you an action plan after this. You have all your emails on our record. So we're going to send you emails. And thank you for coming, and you see what we do, and then we mentor you. So don't forget to tune in into our website. Thank you.